What's up, bitches? We are here 1 week. 1 week before people lose their shit. Either one way or the other. Somebody is losing their shit next week. Although, they probably shouldn't expect to lose their shit because of all the, ballots that they're going to have to count afterwards. So, you probably should pinch those fucking, squeeze that asshole and pinch those cheeks because there's no need to lose your shit this time next week unless something crazy happens and something is like just overwhelming. But there's going to be votes that need to be counted after next Tuesday. Right?
Yeah, I mean, they're saying already that they've got like 2016 record like turnouts for voting. So,
well, let me ask you this, and I'm sure people are saying, "Man, you guys are like straight fucking liberals, or straight Democrats, or whatever." I think we try to be fair and we try to, call both sides as we see it. But I can see how people would think we're leaning left. I understand that. It's cool. But when there's facts in front of your face, you can't like dispute it one way or the other. So the Republicans, we talked about them trying to suppress votes. So they're saying no vote should be counted after election day, mail-in votes or whatever. Nothing should be counted after election day, right? They're in courts fighting this in they've already won in Wisconsin. Like they're fighting this in multiple states. And yet these same Republicans are fighting against these same states counting votes early. So if we get the votes in early, in order to appease you, we can count them. We can start counting them. But you don't want us to do that. Why? What the fuck is the point of early voting if you can't start early tabulating? Does that make any sense?
yeah, I mean, especially like if they're not releasing that information
Yeah.
prior to election day, like I could see the issue if that information was released prior to election day, how it might influence or swing people to go to the polls. But if it's not being like distributed to the public, what's the big deal?
It makes no sense. It's like fuck. It's like building a fucking mountain of dirt and then saying on election day we can move this dirt. We can move this mountain of dirt over there. But if we can't move all this dirt by the end of the day, then the rest of it doesn't matter.
It just stays there.
It just stays.
It can block the path.
Yeah. Like, when did Republicans? So we've already talked about flip-flopping of like Democrats and Republicans, where Republicans seem to be the ones more open to conversation and not the cancel culture shit, versus Democrats and liberals who are ready to cancel everything. But now Republicans are suppressing votes and against democracy, which is fucking insane. Like, I don't know how to describe it, and I'm not usually not one to lack a bag of dicks description.
I think the problem and the honestly the thing is the Republican Party is scared. Um, they they are seeing that they are possibly going to lose control of the Senate. That the Dems are going to take a larger control of the House, and possibly like they may lose the White House too.
Yeah,
Their funding is not like it's
obviously
way
that. No,
behind.
you're right. Obviously, they're doing it out of fear. They're definitely doing it out of fear, but like there are, and unfortunately, this is not enough. There are upstanding Republicans who say, "This is fucked up. What are we doing?" And I I would feel this way if it was on the other side. So if people want to accuse us of being liberals or Democrats or whatever, go ahead, accuse of what you want. I feel like we try to look at things down the middle. Um, I, as I've stated multiple times, I read and I watch both sources, so I don't just follow one agenda because I'm an independent. And my thing is just voting for the person who has most of my interests at heart. And if you don't think that and you don't like that, fuck off. Go listen to something else. I'm just trying to be real with it. If you want to live in QAnon world, if you want to live in fucking right wing or left wing world, go for it. But the truth always lies somewhere in the middle. So if you want to blame uh, the White House and you want to blame Pelosi for the stimulus bill not getting done, it's usually in the middle. It's probably both of their faults, and the Senate just is like not even touching it. They're like, fuck it, you guys deal with that. We don't want that heat right now because we got a lot of we got enough on our plate right now. We we got a lot of tight races. So but I have a story for you. So I went to early vote thinking I'm good, right? I registered. I moved to Florida months ago. I registered, got my voter registration card. Word. Gonna go vote. Early vote. Step up to the thing. My wife gives her Massachusetts ID, gets her ballot. I give mine, the lady right away. Oh, no, sorry, we can't accept Massachusetts ID. What do you mean? She just gave her ID. We're both from Massachusetts. Like, what are you talking about? Oh, well, that shouldn't have happened. No, blah, blah, blah. They stop us both. We are not allowed to vote. I spoke with the person in charge at the polling place. I spoke with her supervisor. You need a Florida ID to vote, even though they allowed us to register to vote. So we have valid Massachusetts driver's license. They would not accept. They have to be Florida driver's license, mind you. You cannot get an appointment to switch over for at least a month. Like, you got to schedule that shit a month in advance. My switch happens to fall on election day, and even then, you get your new ID in the mail.
Yeah.
So does me no good, right? My only option at this point is to what the hell? Provisional. They offer me a provisional vote, which basically says that I can vote, but it is provisional on a review by somebody to make sure that my signature matches. So whatever they have on file, whatever signature they have on file, this provisional vote, the signature has to match. To which I say, wait, what? Like, okay, let's say, for example, when I signed whatever, my last ballot or whatever they're using. What if I was tired that day and didn't sign my shit like I normally do? What if I was in a hurry and didn't sign my shit like I normally do? What if the person that gets my vote sees who I'm voting for and decides I don't like that vote, and their excuses
Well, his signature didn't match.
signature didn't match? How is that assuring to me? Oh, well, you can contest it. Well, what's that going to do when it's, X days into the process? So I was like, no, this is not a viable solution. So then they're asking me if I have all these different types of IDs, right? Facial IDs. These assholes will accept a home homeowner association ID. They will accept a student ID. They will accept a public assistance ID, even if it's from another state. So I can vote if I have a public assistance ID from Massachusetts, but not if I have a fucking driver's license from Massachusetts. A valid current driver's license with all the little holograms and all the bullshit that they put on it that can be scanned by these programs to verify that it's real, that liquor stores and bars and clubs use all the fucking time, but my local polling office doesn't. Because of a Florida statute or some bullshit like that. What the fuck? So, what do you do in that situation?
Yeah, that would infuriate me. So you go to the library, you get a fucking library card made, and that gets you into the polls. Like,
Almost.
you go to Sam's Club, you get a Sam's Club card.
Bro, I looked at my wallet to see if I had my BJ's card, but it didn't have my face on it. I had a BJ's card, didn't have my face on it. I was gonna whip that out at them and be like, here you go.
Bam.
And so they're asking me, okay, so what about a passport? So it got me thinking. It was pretty easy to get a passport. Like, almost, I want to say it was almost easier to get a passport than to get my fucking license. If not, it was the same process. So if it's the same process, why is one like banned and the other is okay? Because unfortunately, my passport has expired.
Well, I mean, my thing is, if you have an out-of-state ID and you're trying to vote in Florida, and like you've registered that you've moved into this new district, like proof of residency, I could understand them saying, all right, you need your mass state ID and proof of residency, like a bill or something like that. A mailing fucking, a bill with your, mailing address on it or something that's been mailed to you at that address. But like not accepting the ID outright is just fucking stupid.
And Florida's not the only one that does it. A lot of states do it. Now, there are some that say photo ID, but there are a lot that require you to have the state ID, which is crazy because a lot of people move to different states within election time. So it's just a ridiculous, like outdated law or rules or whatever that make no fucking sense because
Well, and my thing is, you might have dual residency. You might live
that too.
in,
Yeah.
like, I mean, there's a lot of military families who might be, live in fucking Topeka, Kansas, but be stationed in, Fort Benning, Georgia, or whatever.
Well, and I mean, I could summer in Florida, so I understand. They don't want if you're just here for a couple of months to
They
vote
don't want you
for this
voting in multiple
state.
states.
Yeah, or just in this state. Like, but then, so my question was, then why do you allow me to register without saying that the first step I need to make is to make sure I get a Florida ID? Which again, even if you're trying to do is backed up like a motherfucker so you can't get a goddamn appointment to do that. My appointment I made weeks ago and it's on election day. Weeks ago. Like almost 3 weeks ago I made my appointment. And my appointment to transfer my license is on election day. So basically I got a new job. I'm hoping to get my job ID because apparently they accept that. And so
so, so why don't you just print yourself your own ID right there in the
seriously, dude,
office?
like I honestly could. I'm not even lying. This is not an exaggeration. I know I exaggerate tons on this fucking podcast, but I could Photoshop an ID and give it to these people and it will work. It will 100% work. But my Massachusetts ID that has all these fucking holograms and shit on it that they spend a lot of money on to make sure that you can't fake it will not work. I could fake a fucking ID and vote tomorrow. Guaranteed. All I need is the equipment to print the fucking thing.
Make you a company and call it Foofy. Fuck your face incorporated. Put your picture on it and walk in there and vote. But
Like,
they won't accept your fucking.
but how crazy is that? How crazy is that? Anyways, go out and vote. If you haven't mailed in your mail-in ballot, take that shit to a drop-in box because it's too late. And by the way, the provisional vote, the same thing kind of as a mail-in ballot. Um, if you don't want to stand in lines or whatever, you can still get a mail-in ballot. You just have to go to the elections office, fill it out, and then drop it in the box. You can't. There's no more mailing. It's basically the same thing as a provisional vote, but you don't have to like stand in the in line at the voting sites and stuff like that if you're worried about COVID or whatever.
So I will be out on election day to cast my vote. I'm going in person. I don't trust the fucking system.
That's what I was trying to do.
Yeah.
That's what I was trying to do. Early voting. Early motherfucking voting. Get these votes in. Go, people. Make a plan. Go. Do this. I don't give a fuck if you ride with Trump or if you ride with Biden. I don't care. It doesn't matter. All that bullshit that Trump is spitting about all this corruption and all this garbage. If you believe that, you're a fucking moron because we've been doing this forever. And it's just
Well,
a
I mean,
ploy. It's just a fucking ploy in case he loses.
well, I mean, the other thing is, like, at the end of the day, if you don't speak up, if you don't vote, you have basically said, like, I don't want to have a voice, and then you can
Yeah.
spend the next 4 years just shut the fuck up, like,
And
shut
and
up for the next 4 years.
and this especially is important to people who give a fuck about COVID, because if I've ever seen anything as egregious as what this fucking federal government is doing and just looking the other way, I I don't think that I've ever seen anything in history to this attitude towards COVID. We're turning around the corner, he says. We have more cases than we have ever had. How the fuck is that turning the corner?
You're turning the corner like Bruce Wayne's parents. Like Mr.
No,
Robert waiting there
you're
for
you're,
you.
you're doing
Like,
you're doing a 360 is what you're doing. You're turning the corner. Is anybody paying attention to this shit? Our cases are higher than ever. They are at capacity at a lot of the red states because people are getting fucking sick. And you still have assholes out there with their fucking schnoz hanging out of their fucking masks, talking about sheep, talking about fake news, talking about.
well, and then there's this. The my favorite thing is there's this misconception, and you hear it all the time. Well, after the election, this will all go away.
How?
I'm like, what, is there a magic cure in the fucking polls? Like,
Like the virus is gonna say, "Oh, Trump won again. Cool. See ya." Or, "Oh shit, it's a new guy, Biden. Fuck that. We're out of here."
yeah.
What? That's one of the stupidest things I've ever heard. You know, it's especially challenging as a parent because you want to allow your child to have some normalcy, but it's just like, what's the risk versus reward? And for every family, that's for them to figure out and take into account and make their decision. And that's on them. Good for them. I am not telling you how to do it. But like down here, I have the option of sending my son to school or having him homeschool, virtual. His ass isn't up in his fucking room, and he's gonna have to tough it out. He's gonna have to tough it out and do his 7 hours a day or whatever, um, until we get a better handle on this. And it's not because of him. It's not because I don't trust him to wear a mask and this and that. It's because I don't trust everybody else. Because I've seen what's around me. Because I've seen people still walking into stores with no mask. Because I've seen people still walking around with their fucking big ass schnoz hanging out when they do wear a mask, and they don't fucking care. And I have, because we're talking about COVID, I did a little research. Okay. Now, in the United States, we have 328 or so million people, right? A little bit more. We are the world leaders in deaths with 328 million. You want to take a guess on the population of China? You want to take a guess?
I want to say the population of China was like is 1.2 billion or something like that.
Almost 1.4 billion.
Yeah.
They have a billion more people. And their deaths are extremely less than what ours are. Extremely. I'm going to look it up for you right now.
Now,
Eh,
I'll chime in a little bit on that. I don't know about the legitimacy of the numbers that are being reported out of China, and in a lot of places in the
Well,
world.
Fair point.
One
Fair point.
one of the things
Absolutely
about
fair point.
yeah, one of the things about the United States is we've been very. I mean, we have a great healthcare system that's organized, and there's been a lot of
I
testing.
I was gonna say I should have prefaced it by saying I don't believe these numbers because I think they're full of shit. However, they are reporting 85,000 cases. 85,000 cases. We have 227,000 deaths. We have 2.5 times more deaths than they supposedly have cases. Now, you could say, I don't trust their numbers, but you could also say, well, they don't fuck around over there. You wear a mask or they grab your ass and they lock you
Drag you in
up.
the streets.
Yeah. Yeah. So, like I always say, the truth is probably somewhere in between. Maybe they're not that low, but I guarantee you they're not as high as us, and they have way more people. Way more people. And to that point, what do you think the population of India is?
I think India's population is what is it? Is it 2.1 million, something like that? 2.1 billion.
India's 1.35. 1.35. So almost close to China, right?
Yeah, more than China.
Close to China. They actually have a ton of cases. So this kind of tells you either China's fudging the numbers like a motherfucker, or China's like, you don't wear a mask or you don't quarantine, we're cutting dicks off. So choose. But I wanted to have one more example for us to choose from. Now, mind you, both of these countries have over 1 billion more people than us. 1 billion. Okay. India's death toll, 120,000. Cases, 8 million. 850,000 less than us with 1 billion more people. Now you could say that's testing. And I'll agree with that. I'll agree with that. You could even say that there's probably more deaths that haven't been counted to COVID because it's like out in some rural area. And I'll agree with that too.
Well, and I think there's also that in the United States there has been some fuckery. There's been some fuckery
Oh,
in
there's been a
some
lot of fuckery.
districts with you know them reporting deaths as COVID related for funding. Um,
Yep.
New York got bopped for that because every death that was coming through the coroner's office was COVID related. Gunshot wound, COVID related.
Yeah. Yeah. True story. It's
So I
true.
mean,
Guy
so I
fucking
think some
fell in the frozen lake. COVID.
yeah. So I mean, I think to some extent there's been some fudging of the numbers. Um,
Absolutely.
but
But to that extent,
no, I mean, America is one of the most devout
hold
countries in
on.
the
Time
world.
out. Time out. Before you move on, there's also been fudging of the numbers the other way.
Yeah.
Florida, as a perfect example, I think the person who was reporting the numbers quit because they were trying to pressure her to not report certain numbers the way that they wanted. This fucking asshole DeSantis. So it goes both ways. Fudgy, fucking everywhere. Okay. So again, the truth lies somewhere in the middle. right?
Mhm.
But finish your point.
No, I mean, I think what we're seeing overall is that America's a developed country. We're one of the most developed countries in the world. Like, um, our healthcare system is well developed. Our infrastructure is well developed. We have access to clean food, clean water and food and healthcare. And yet, other places are looking at us going, "What the fuck?" Like, I mean, we got some third world shit going on here with this virus.
And you assholes just don't want to wear a fucking mask. Like, so I was watching a one of these cable shows, and they were talking about a certain, god damn it, I want to say it was not Arizona, Kansas. They showed a graph. Okay, they showed a graph from, I don't know, it was, I want to say somewhere around, so basically, just to make a long story short, the Kansas governor wanted to have a mask mandate, and the courts ruled that they could strip that based on the counties, and the counties could say fuck your mandate. Okay, so I think it was around, like, since they, I think they started the tracking from like the beginning, from like March or whatever, and the non-maskers kind of spiked, versus the maskers. So you have like the steady line going with the spikes and dips and valleys and all of that stuff, right? So around when I guess the governor made the mandate, for those 2 weeks, the maskers actually spiked more than the non-maskers. So everybody's like, see? Fake news, bitches. It's a bunch of bullshit. You guys are a bunch of sheep. Hold on one second. As they showed the data, the mask wearers in all the counties that were required to wear masks stayed a consistent level. They had their little spikes, but for the most part, it was pretty even across the board. The non-maskers went from lower than the masks to double the amount of infections per 200,000 people or whatever it was. Double. So if you still deny masks, you are a fucking asshole, and I hope you catch COVID, and I hope you fucking die. I don't give a fuck anymore. Fuck you all. You guys are fucking everything up. Die, motherfuckers. Die. Fuck you. Die.
You know, eh, the thing that just like amazes me about this whole thing is the science is there. Like, I don't know at what point like did we like as a society like to say, you know what, we don't fucking believe in science. Like,
How
we're
about we've talked about this ad nauseum. I'm with you. Let's talk about these two Chicago sisters. These two chicks were asked to wear a mask, and they went straight up. You got me fucked up on this poor bastard. One of the sisters grabbed him. The other sister stabbed this motherfucker 27 times in Chicago. 27 times for asking him to wear a fucking mask. I don't care if he said their mothers have COVID cunts. Like, how do you stab a dude 27 times? Where does that rage come from asking you to wear a mask? Even if he said the N-word, it's words. Maybe stab him once, but in a non-lethal part. But 27 times? Speaking of the N-word, I don't know if you saw that story. I'm sorry. Speaking of the N-word, there's another story of some asshole in Arizona, Asian guy, Asian Chinese, or that Oriental. You can't say anything these days because this came up recently. If you say Asian, it's wrong because Indians are Asians. So, but if you say Oriental, they don't like that either. So what the fuck am I supposed to say? If I call him Chinese and he's Japanese, he gets pissed. Like,
Yeah, well, Orientals, what you described like artifacts and like
or
furniture and stuff like
items.
that.
Yes, yes.
Yeah,
So, but if you say Asians, there are a billion Indian Asians. So that's not accurate either. So what the fuck do I call you guys? Listen, I mean no disrespect, but how do I differentiate so that I don't offend people? What the fuck?
if you're
Pick
from
a
the
fucking thing.
if you're from the continent of Asia, you're Asian.
I guess, but I think Indians would be like, and I don't want to bust out an Indian accent, but we're like, that's not me, my friend. Like that's those guys over there. So
Which reminds me, like, did you see that thing where the Chinese were like they paid for a study to prove that they weren't related to Africans.
no, I did not see that.
So, so they paid for a genetic study to prove that they weren't related to Africans in any way, and the study proved that they are in fact genetically linked to people in Africa.
All right,
That
fuck all that. Let's get back to this guy. Let's get back to this Asian guy because he is Asian, or he was from Asia. This cocksucker, he's out there and he's I guess leaf blowing or whatever. So some YouTuber, some black kid or African American, whatever the fuck you want to say, whatever suits your agenda. Because another thing, some black folks don't like to be called African Americans because they don't really have that tie, and some don't like to be called black. So whatever you go by, black, African American, whatever. I'm not trying to shit on you. It's just I don't know what the fuck to say that's politically correct anymore. So some black dudes are doing YouTube shit, and this asshole confronts them, and I guess he was taking pictures of them or whatever, and he's recording him. And he's like, you know what, the type of racist stuff going on right now. And the Asian guy's like, yeah, I know. He's like, I'm racist. So he's like, you're racist? And you can find this. The video's online. He's like, yeah, this is I don't want to say it because I don't want us to catch any heat for this bullshit. N-free zone. Hard R. Not the A that we are used to, that we grew up with. That's my paisan. That's my boy. My N-word with the A at the end. The hard R. This is a N-word hard R free zone. And the dude was like, no, it's not. And he's like, yes, it is. And he's like, no, it's not because I'm here. And he basically told him, and I need you to back up for me so that I don't smack your bitch out, like fuck your bitch ass up. Which, kudos to him, he didn't take a swing at the guy. It's about as disrespectful as it gets. But so I don't know the fallout. I think the guy got fired or whatever. But it's like this prevalent racism that just is like right in your face these days. Is fucking unbelievable. I don't know how the hell we got to there from Chicago sisters stabbing some guy because he wouldn't wear a mask, but whatever. We got to that point. I don't know. I don't think there's much you can add to that. I mean, pretty fucked up. I don't know another way to describe it. Like, if I was in that kid's shoes, I might have cracked him as soon as he said it. So again, kudos to him. He didn't react like that, and he showed restraint, and good for him. Good for that YouTuber in Arizona.
And I hope he turned his camera off and smacked the shit out of him.
So I noticed a couple of stories about, and this is just stupid. This is just something you should not do. Okay. A cop, I think he was in Florida, went to vote and was in uniform and was wearing a Trump mask. Okay. Another cop in New York was like broadcasting on his cruiser speaker, Trump 2020 or whatever the hell he was saying, basically promoting Trump. And listen, if you're a cop and you want to vote for Trump, go for it. That's your fucking right. Do it. Nobody's saying that you're an asshole or that you're wrong. That's what you believe in. Go vote for Trump. But your uniform means something, and it's a public service. You can't be doing that with your uniform on. You can't be doing that at your job. It's wrong. It's never been done. It's never been allowed or accepted. So any punishment these guys get, they deserve it. Have you heard about any of this stuff?
Yeah, I mean, I completely agree. It's no difference for me than like in the past where like officers have gotten in trouble. Like I think years and years ago, there was an officer that was like fired because she like posed for like Playboy or one of the like adult magazines, and she had her uniform or whatever on, and they ended up like firing her for it. Like for me, like it's no different than that. Like your outside life, your
It's kind
beliefs or
of different.
whatever. But I mean, like how you feel, what you believe, like that's your business and cool, that's your right. Like, but as a conservator of the peace, as an officer of the county or the state, like you have a responsibility to be impartial and like
Well, no, I don't think you have a responsibility to be impartial. I think you have a responsibility to not show where you lie, where your partiality lies while you're on duty. It's no
I think
different.
it's
It's
I
no
think it's no
different
different
than.
than our
Go
well, I think
ahead.
it's no different than our like our chief justices. Like, um, this chick that was just sworn in, one of the things she said was, regardless of my political beliefs or my, you know, where I stand as far as that, like, at the end of the day, like, I serve to like uphold the laws of our land. Like,
Eh, that's a bad comparison because uh, because those people have different beliefs on the laws of our land. So I'll give you a different comparison. You work for a company, whatever, FedEx, UPS, whatever, right? You go to a bar after work. You don't take off your uniform. You go into the bar, you get loaded to the point where you might start some shit or whatever. They got to kick you out. Maybe you do something stupid and it's big enough that it becomes a news story. Now your employer, their brand is
tarnished
based.
by your actions.
Yeah, it's they're under scrutiny now. So I understand that a local police force doesn't have the same brand as like a FedEx or UPS, but the police in general is is as big of a brand as any of those. And I may be a cop in the next county over that disagrees completely with Trump. I'm a Biden guy, but this asshole's over there promoting Trump. So,
Yeah.
like, it just doesn't work. I don't know. I don't know if you got anything more on that, but it's just stop doing it. Stop fucking, just do that shit on your own time. Don't be an idiot. Jesus Christ. Sitting in your fucking car. Fuck off.
So yeah, I was actually just doing some research on this just to confirm because I didn't want to sound like a fucking complete idiot. But did you know that if you are a Coke employee, that you cannot drink Pepsi products? You risk the chance of being terminated.
I mean, I could I could understand it. Um, ride or die, bitch. You don't roll with Coke, get the fuck out. Take your
Yeah,
Pepsi ass. Take your ass to Pepsi, motherfucker.
and in fact, at Pepsi headquarters, they're not allowed to like use the term Coke or Coca Cola. They
They
have to
say
call it the
soda.
red product. They have to call it
Oh.
red product. Yeah, and
Wow. That's
it's funny
classic
because
little brother. Classic little brother.
one of I have a guy that comes in on a regular basis, and he works for Coca Cola, and I guess someone was telling me that he used to go to another restaurant and they had Pepsi glasses, and he wasn't able to drink drink his drink out of the Pepsi glass because it had Pepsi logo on it, and he was a Coke driver.
I don't hate that because somebody could snap a picture of you, post it on social media, and blow up your whole spot.
Right.
And you look like an asshole, and you make the company look like an asshole. That's like being in a McDonald's uniform and going through the Wendy's drive-through. Like, I get it. Take the fucking uniform off. So it just leads back to, if you vote for whoever you want, just don't do it in your uniform. Cut the shit. Stop being so fucking stupid. It's pretty fucking simple.
Well, another thing that irritates me, and I've seen this a lot, like, don't be that fucking douchebag that's like defiling signs. That's so fucking stupid.
Yeah.
Like, if John Joe Jacobs wants to fucking put a vote for Trump sign in his front yard, cool.
Yep.
Like, let him put a fucking Trump sign in his front
Yep.
yard.
Agreed.
Like,
Agreed. That's his fucking right. Now, if you want to take a piss on it, I'm not gonna blame you for that. Same thing on Biden's side. If you want to take a piss on a Biden side, go take a piss on a Biden side. Just don't fuck with it. Just fucking piss all over it. Now, if you take a shit on it, that's pushing it.
well, did you see the actual, like, what was it, the workers that went to remove some signs that were too close to the road, some Trump
Yeah, we
signs?
talked about it. The fucking guy's whole fucking fingers almost got cut off. Jesus Christ. But leave the signs alone, people. People have the right to vote whoever the fuck they want for. You know, I know people hate Trump, but there are reasons why people vote for him. You might not agree with that. That's fine. That's what democracy is all about. But you have to accept that. You have to be tolerant of that. And if somebody's got
Well, and
two big ass Trump 2020 signs on the back of their truck and they're blowing by, good for them. Who gives a fuck? That's their choice. That's their right.
and it's funny because as much hate as like I could throw on Trump or find things that I find wrong with him, in his last debate he said something that is why a lot of people are Trump fans. He said, "I'm not a politician." Like,
Yeah,
okay,
but
I'm not a
that's a bunch of
politician.
bullshit. He's about as much of a politician as he drained the swamp and made it his swamp. I mean,
Yeah. But I mean, but for a lot of people, that's why they support Trump because
He's
he
an
doesn't
extreme.
talk like the rest of
No,
them.
you know what? You're right. He's not a politician. He's a fucking dictator because he's already said, if I win, head of the CIA, gone. Head of the fucking FBI, gone. Head of the Department of Defense, gone. Like, I'm sorry, but I don't give a fuck like where you lean politically. Is it a smart thing to get rid of all our top national security advisors who actually know what the fuck they're doing? And then put people in who don't know what they're doing but are loyal to you? Is that the way we want to do things?
Well, and I don't know if you know this or not, but he also just signed an executive order that states that people that have federal positions, um, like it's much easier to like terminate them and get rid of them.
Well, that doesn't surprise me. But
So that
speaking to that, it's so fucking funny, man. It's sad, but it's so funny. Um, did you see the 60 Minutes interviews? Like where he just was like, "All right, we're done." Like you just be, I forget her name, Stahl, Leslie Stahl or whatever the hell her name is, was doing the Trump interview, and um, she was asking him just normal questions, like questions that matter, and he got all pissy about it. And he was like, "Yeah, I think we're done. Well, let's go. We're done." So then she had asked him about the healthcare plan, right? So they bring this big binder, like this fucking thick, and they give it to her. And the narration comes that it's basically full of fluff and like executive orders. Like there's no real health plan because there isn't. There isn't. I don't care. You diehard Republicans, tell me where the health plan is. You want to get rid of Obamacare? Fine. Where's the fucking alternative? Because everybody's asked for it. It's been 4 years and we still have yet to see it. So where is it? Show me the health plan. Don't show me a fucking binder full of bullshit and executive orders because that's not a health plan.
and in the midst of this, he's deconstructing Obamacare in the midst of a pandemic.
With where people will now have pre-existing conditions because of the COVID. Because we don't know how this is going to affect people, even the kids who he claims are immune to it, which is complete bullshit. Nobody knows what's going to happen to these people who have been exposed to this fucking virus 10, 20 years from now. Nobody knows how it's affected them. Maybe that shit is going to lie dormant.
Well, the other thing too is they've already proven that if you contract the virus, it doesn't necessarily make you immune from it permanently, because there have been people that have contracted the virus more than once.
Well, that leads me to this. And I ask you this. And this relates back to the Superman story. Is it possible that this cocksucker saw that people were testing positive from the Rose Garden super spreader event, and he didn't contract it, but he said, fuck it, tell everybody I got the COVID. Said, I'll go to the hospital for a couple days or whatever. And his plan was to walk all week and like he was so weak and and then just stop and rip off his fucking shirt and show the Superman shirt. That is the reason why I think this cocksucker has lied about him having the vid. Only because of the Superman story. Otherwise, I would say, there's no way he's gonna lie about this. It's got to be real. Like there's like legit doctors saying he had it and this and that. But remember, the doctor was avoiding shit left and right, like real questions about his lungs, about this, about that. What if it was all a ruse?
Yeah, I mean, the only thing that makes me believe that it might have been like legit was the fact that he got pissed off because everyone was trying to downplay how bad the virus was, and then his like chief of staff like fucking let it slip that yeah, like he was bad off, and Trump got all pissed off at him.
No, but that might just been I don't 100% believe this, but I believe there's a possibility. Okay, I believe there's a possibility, and only because of the Superman story. Because, God damn you, you fucking asshole. You asshole who talked him out of it. I fucking hate you. I fucking can't stand you because that would have been the most glorious of spectacles that we've seen in I don't know how long. Can you imagine? Can you imagine that scene and how gloriously ridiculous that would have been for a US president to act all feeble like he's dying, walking out to like the fucking balcony
Dun, 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 dun.
and just ripping his shirt off with this. We already talked about it. Trump come everywhere. There would be Trump come everywhere from all his supporters. But the spectacle of it would have been phenomenal. It would have been a classic in politics in U.S. history forever.
I mean, but that kind of shit is like the shit you expect from the Saddam Husseins.
Yes, Kim Jong-un.
Yeah.
But let's say this:
that megalomaniac fucking
Putin.
Yep.
Even Putin is not stupid enough to do that. But let me tell you this:
Gorbachev would have done it back in the day, though.
I don't know. I don't really know much about Gorbachev.
I don't know if he would have done like the Superman, but he might have done like the fucking.
Let me ask you. Have you ever? Do you know about the show Quantum Leap?
Yeah.
You remember? So for those that don't know, Quantum Leap was basically this guy. He like his entity, his aura, leaped from person to person in different times of
history.
Yeah. He could be a woman. He could be a man. He could be a dictator. He could be a corrupt cop. He could be a victim. He could be a pregnant woman. He could, whatever. The whole premise was he leapt from here to there based on what he needed to do to fix the situation. If that guy can quantum leap into the person, if that really existed, I know it's just a television show, but whatever. If that guy could quantum leap anywhere, and he had a guy that helped him out and told him probabilities and all this stuff, and his name was Ziggy. If Ziggy could get somebody to quantum leap somewhere, I wish Ziggy would get somebody to quantum leap into the asshole that told Trump, don't do this. You're going to look like an asshole. Because I want Trump ripping off his shirt being Superman. I don't give a fuck if he did get COVID or not. It's something I need in my life. So if there is quantum leap, if that exists, if there's some fucking super nerd out there that can figure it out, please leap into that guy and tell Trump that is a fucking great idea. Do that shit, because and apparently you don't exist yet because it hasn't happened. But get to work, bitches. Fucking nerds. Get to work, you fucking nerds. I want to see some quantum leap. I want to see Trump ripping off his shirt with a fucking Superman shirt on, showing that he is king conqueror of COVID. Let's fucking go. Stop fucking around and working on COVID vaccines. This is more important. I mean, wouldn't you say? You disagree?
What is it? What is it? Melania says, "Try something else."
Yes. You fucking assholes haven't created a vaccine yet. Try something else. Make a fucking quantum leap, you cunts, and get me Trump as Superman.
You see Trump as Superman, like flying with his fucking.
Oh, they would have did it all. They would have had a fan set up to blow. He might even came out with a cape. I wouldn't put it past him to have a fucking cape when he ripped the shirt open. There's a fucking cape on the back, and they have a little fan set up to blow his hair, and his hair's just like flowing, and the cape's just like
It's just make America great again.
yeah. Oh, how great would that have been? It would have been fucking phenomenal. And some asshole talked him out of it. Oh, I hate that motherfucker so much. Fuck that guy.
Which reminds me, Trumpy Bears are back.
Oh, Trumpy Bears are in full force, baby. Full force.
It's just like I saw like the biker in the ad. It just fucking cracks me up. He's like, yeah, Trumpy Bear goes everywhere with me.
A grown ass. Can you imagine if that's real? Like if that was a real testimonial, a grown ass man riding around his Harley or whatever with his fucking Trumpy Bear.
Here's this 1% biker who's
like
1% biker.
You gotta be the biggest douche to do something. I don't give a fuck how much you love a president. Like, holy shit, Trumpy Bear. Oh man. I think if I ever saw that, swear to God, if I had a Bible, I'm putting my hand on it right now. And I promise this to everyone. If I ever see a Trumpy Bear on somebody's bike, I am going to grab it. I'm going to go into whatever establishment that it's parked at. I'm going to find their men's room. I'm going to take a shit. Big steaming dump. And I'm going to wipe my ass with that Trumpy Bear hair. And if I make it without them catching me, I'm going to put that motherfucker right back on your bike or in your car. Wherever the fuck I get it from. I am going to wipe my asshole with your Trumpy Bear. Not because I hate Trump. Not because I'm a liberal. Not because I'm neither of those. I think Trump's an asshole, but I don't hate him.
This is the stupidest fucking thing.
Yeah, just because it's fucking ridiculous that you as a grown man or woman be driving around with a fucking stupid ass Trumpy Bear. Like that deserves. Like, you know what? I take it back. I'll go South Park on you. I'll take a shit on your bike and wipe my ass. I might get fucked up, but whatever. You deserve it for having a fucking Trumpy Bear. Fuck you.
Let's be honest. If you're a 1%er with a Trumpy Bear, you're probably not all that hard, anyways.
Fucking losers. Anyways, let's move on. So I meant to talk about this last time and I forgot to bring it up. And this is about the extremes of religion. A somewhat younger teacher, he wasn't that young. I think he was in his 30s, was killed and beheaded because he showed a picture of the Prophet Mohammed in France. So this guy's giving a lecture about free speech and this and that. He asks, how many of you are Muslims? Because there's Muslims everywhere. Few kids raise their hands. So he asks them, he says, listen, this is going to offend you. So please leave the classroom. He asked them to leave the classroom. He asked the students in the classroom not to talk about what he's going to show them to the ones that left it, to the Muslims. Because I guess he's trying to make some type of point about a depiction of Muhammad. And the shitstorm that it brings. So apparently, one of the girls decided not to leave, and somehow it got to some Russian Muslim who was 18 years old, and this cocksucker cut his fucking head off. He didn't even make the picture. He didn't even draw it. He showed students some type of picture of Muhammad, or depiction of Muhammad. To which I say, what the fuck is wrong with you guys? I always am skeptical about religion. I don't have a lot of faith. I would be the first to admit that. I believe more in karma and just being a good person. And if you do the right shit, good shit will happen to you. Just be a good person. Don't be a dick. Don't do fucked up things. I sound like an asshole sometimes, but I do a lot of good things. I don't see how showing a picture should equate to you having your head cut off from your body. And I don't see how a legit religion, should support that. I don't know how that works. I'm sure there's millions of Muslims who would have plenty to say about that and put me in my place about what their beliefs are. So fine, you believe that? Cool.
I mean, I also think that that's an extreme portion, like, of the religion. I know plenty of Muslims who would be offended by that, by the action of this person as well too.
Maybe, but I think it's pretty ingrained that you don't depict any images of Muhammad. I agree that many of them would not accept that that's an acceptable punishment, but and I'm sure that's the extremists, but I don't understand, like, and granted, I'm not them, so I don't get it. You know, all I know is you will never see me trying to draw. Like, if I draw anybody that looks anywhere near Arabic or Islamic or whatever, you bet your ass that he's gonna have like a Nike swoosh, like on his turban or whatever, because I am not trying to get fucking my head cut off. So, so, if they're that sensitive about it, my advice to people is just leave it alone. You know, so the South Park guys already have dealt with it, and you know, I think some of their episodes aren't even available when on some streaming services where they did that because of the blowback. But whatever.
So, so the funny thing about that is, and I just looked it up in the Quran. It does not state that you can't depict Muhammad, or it's strongly discouraged within the Muslim religion to depict Muhammad or Moses or any of the prophets. Um, what they believe is that you're basically idolizing them by depicting them, so they'll avoid it or like not want to be part of that depiction. But it's not unlawful by their faith base.
Well, the
So
extremists take it that way,
extremists, yeah,
and maybe
yeah,
that's where the non-extremists needs to say, hey guys, chill the fuck out. Like, what are you doing? I mean, where the guy tried, he tried to like protect. Look, listen, guys, I don't want to deal with any of issues with your parents, anything. So just step out of the classroom for a minute. I'm trying to make a point. I'm trying to teach. I don't want to offend you. And for that, the guy lost his fucking head. Not his life, his head. They had to take his head and sew it back on so the fucking guy can have a wake. You know how vicious that is? Have you ever seen a beheading?
yeah.
That shit is fucking brutal. It is the scariest, just it's the worst thing I've ever seen in my life. I'll never forget seeing that.
Oh,
And this was a long
and
time
that's
ago when an
and that's
American
what
got
was
that happened to one of our guys.
yeah, and it's actually a common like intimidation like method is that extremists or like cartel guys will often record beheadings
I could see
of
why.
Americans
I could see why
because it
that
is
if you ever seen a beheading, you can't unwatch that. It is the goriest. Just like that shit emotionally scarred me. Like that's fucked up, man. Just watching him just like carve this dude's fucking head from his body, who had nothing to do with one government's agenda versus the other, but he had to make a point. And Jesus Christ. Just thinking about it, I'm just all fucked up right now. What the
I
fuck
don't know.
happened to what the fuck happened to a comedy podcast? We're talking about beheadings here.
So
Jesus
heavy.
Christ.
Speaking of headings, let's talk about the New York writer who got caught with his head out.
No, we're not there yet. We're not there yet. We'll
Eh,
we'll we'll
we-
talk we'll talk about him in a minute. We still got a few more not so heavy topics, but there's one topic that I found fascinating that I wanted to talk about. So there was a huge Colorado wildfire, right? Like we've been seeing all these wildfires in the West Coast, and Trump says it's just from guys not raking the leaves and stuff, right? So this Colorado couple was basically, they knew it was coming. They had their dream house, and they were like up in their 80s, and help was offered. We're going to get you out of there by local officials, by their family, by everyone. And they said, no, we're going to ride it out. These two people, rather than leave this home because it was their dream home, went in their basement and tried to ride it out. Fucking wildfires. Like, how's your basement going to protect you? they were married for like high school sweethearts. So they're married for like 60 years. Whose idea was it? You think that it was one of their ideas and the other one just went along with it because it's like, I don't want to hear no bullshit. Like, like, was it the wife's idea? And the husband was just like, oh, God damn it. If I say let's go, she's gonna fucking bitch and complain the whole time. So fuck it. I'd rather just eat a bunch of flames. Like or was it the wife's the wife went with it because the husband was like, no, this is our home, this is our castle, we built this place. And the wife's like, oh God damn it, if I say let's go, then this fucking cocksucker won't let it go for like 2 weeks. And you know, I don't know, what do you think?
You know what? Like, I kind of get that. Like, they're 80 years old. They've lived full lives. It's their home. Like, I can see. Like, I can understand it. It's like, you know what? Maybe we'll fucking just ride this one out. If we lose the home and we die, like, it is what it is. We died with everything we worked for. We just go out in one quick.
Okay, you know what I would say?
I don't know if I want to burn to death, but
Exactly. That's the key thing. That's the key thing. It's the worst possible death you could have. So let me tell you what happened if this would happen in my scenario. If my wife said, this is our dream home, we built this place, we live here all our lives, you know, all our adult lives since we built it, we're going to die here. I would rather die here than give it up or go anywhere else. I'd say, bye, bitch. Good luck. I am fucking out. I am not going to burn to a fucking crisp just because you want to stay for this fucking house. Fuck off. I'm out. Good luck. Here's a fucking, here's a bucket of water. Do your best.
Here's some marshmallows and chocolate.
I mean, seriously, dude. Like, what are we talking about? You're gonna get burned to a fucking crisp. What the fuck? That's fucking insane. No house is worth that. Even if you have a fucking year or two left of life, that's worth more than your stupid asshole house in Colorado. Fuck off.
I mean, maybe they thought they could fight off the fire. I don't know. But...
they just had like a hose. Just I hate to make fun of them because it's a horrible story, but like what is your plan in this scenario? Like, all right, listen. I got it, babe. I got it. We're gonna be good. Trust me. You gotta trust me. We'll pull the hose from outside. We'll put it in the basement, and we'll just crank it. We'll crank the fucking thing, and we'll just have water flowing all over us. How are we gonna burn? How's it gonna happen? It's fucking invincible.
And then we'll emerge from our basement in our Superman shirts.
We'll just come out like where the water. Yeah, we'll just be water fucking man and water woman, and we'll be good. The fucking all that heat and fire can't touch us if we're getting drenched with water. Matter of fact, I got a better idea. I'm gonna set up that sprinkler. You know the sprinkler that we has that with the fucking things that go back and forth. You know, the wide open thing. We'll set that up. How's fire gonna penetrate that? We'll put a few of those bad boys on. We're good to go. God bless him. I mean, you give him credit for conviction, but God, that's a horrible way to go. And again, if it was my wife, See ya. Anyways, so before we get off topics, I wanted to talk about this because I find it interesting on some levels about the new Borat movie. Have you seen it?
I haven't seen the movie, but I've seen a lot of the like stock footage of shit from the movie.
Okay, I've watched the whole thing, and I've heard differing opinions. And this goes to show you that people are judging everything on a political spectrum these days. Because anybody on the right hates it and says it sucks. And anybody on the far left says it was hilarious, it was great, it was this, it was that. Truth of the matter is, it was It wasn't as good as the first. So if you let your political bias get into it, then it made it either worse or better for you. Otherwise, if you didn't expect much, which I didn't because the first one was so funny, and usually sequels are not as good as the originals. Um, almost every time, especially in comedies, like Super Troopers 2 sucked. What a
Well,
piece
and
of
I think
garbage that was.
and I think you kind of go into this movie like with that kind of understanding that, like, of what it is. Like, it's a certain type of comedy.
No, no, no. I think I think people either went into it with higher expectations or lower expectations. Like like me, I didn't have high expectations because again, comedy sequels usually aren't great. You know, maybe Porky's 2 was good. I don't remember because all I cared about in that time was tits and ass. So for me, it was fucking awesome. You know?
Yeah, but I mean, like the clips I've seen are fucking hilarious. Like
No,
the Giuliani thing.
oh, we'll get to that. The that's my point. It was okay. There were funny moments. Like when he tells the guy he can fuck his back pussy. Like that's funny to me. Like I never thought of my asshole as a back pussy, but whatever. You know, like there are moments that are funny, but it was nowhere near as funny as the first one. It was nowhere near as bad as the people on the right are trying to make it to seem because he was going after, you know, their guys. And it was nowhere near as funny as the people on the left were trying to make it seem, like Seth MacFarlane and Judd Apatow and all these fucking guys who are prominent in you know the industry. It was somewhere in the middle. It was okay. It was like what again, we end up in the middle. Now, because you haven't seen it, you can't speak too much about it, but you have seen clips or whatever. Have you seen the Giuliani clip?
Yeah.
There's there is no way. I don't care how much of a right wing nut job you are, that you can say that Giuliani wasn't expecting a little something extra there.
he he thought he was getting some head, man. He was getting in position, bro. Like
I mean,
his backstory of like, oh, I was tucking in my shirt. Get the fuck out of here! Like,
all right. Well. Why would you go into the bedroom at all during this process? Why would you go into the bedroom? I understand she told him, "Let's go to the bedroom."
to have a
Well,
drink.
yeah. So what is he expecting to happen there? More interview? They already finished the interview. Like
Yeah.
for those that
And
are
then
trying, those
he
are that
exchanged
are,
his phone number with her.
yeah, those that are trying to diffuse this. Come on, come on, just call it what it is. Giuliani thought he was gonna get a little beansky. Now, I
Look,
he
it's
did.
no different than Bob Kraft getting caught in the rub and
I
tug.
I will say this. I will say this. There is no indication at all that he knew that she was supposedly 15 years old until Borat said it in the movie. I don't think it was, and I might have to watch it again, but I don't think it was ever established that this girl was 15 years old. So I don't to paint Giuliani as like a some type of pedophile. I think is wrong because
Yeah.
I don't think he had the understanding that she was supposedly 15 years old, which is a big
Well,
narrative.
to be honest, like even the character doesn't look like she's 15 years old.
This is true. But I think the narrative was that supposedly she was 15 years old. She was represented as a 15-year-old. I don't think she
Yeah.
was. I think Borat came in and said she was 15 years old. And that was the narrative of the movie. Um, and again, I may have to watch it again, and maybe I'm mistaken, but I don't remember that being the case.
I
So
mean,
in his
I think that was one of those situations where, like, yeah, that was the narrative of the movie that was his daughter or whatever. But in Giuliani doing the things he did in that moment, it became that much more like funny because to be honest, I don't even think like Giuliani knew that Borat wasn't a real like person
Giuliani is
until
whacked out. I mean, he's on another level.
no, but I'm saying like I don't think he even knew that Borat didn't exist until later on.
Whether he did or he didn't, I want to hold him accountable because I think he went into that room thinking, hey, maybe getting a little beansky here. But I don't want him. I don't want it to
Seemed like he was a pedo.
yes, because I don't think that's true. Because she
Yeah.
obviously did not look like a 15-year-old as Borat represented in the movie. And I don't think he had that impression beforehand. So let's be fair about it. And for all you assholes who are not for nothing, but all you assholes who are casting aspersions and stuff like that, if some chick is throwing you the flirts and says to you, let's go in the other room, how many of you cocksuckers are going to be like, nah, I'm good. I'm good. With a young piece of ass like that. Like, not 15, because again, if it was 15, all bets are off. Nobody fucks with that. And if you do catch COVID, die, eat 1,000 bags of dicks, and suffocate on them. But if we're talking about like this chick is like legit 25 years old or whatever, and you're in whatever environment, and she's telling you, let's go in the other room. Unless you're married, unless you're gay, you're going in there. You're fucking blowing loads like a motherfucker. Like, what are we talking about? So,
And even that didn't matter for Giuliani.
Giuliani is married, so a bad move on him.
But he saw an opportunity. He saw an opportunity, and like I've seen the video. Like
Just
the
wanted to
girl
see where
doesn't.
it went. He just,
The girl doesn't seem to be unattractive. Like
there's no guarantee he was going to go in there and get a bean ski. He was just seeing if it was available, seeing if maybe there was a possibility for it. And then he would, of course, said no. Of course, he would have said no. Stop that. I'm a married man.
but he wanted that ego pat to see if he could still still do it.
Just saying, he was all smiles. He was big smiles during that interview. So the big creepy fucking penguin smile. the penguin Rudy Giuliani.
and he laid back on the bed like the
Like, right? I mean, come on, right wingers, wake up! Like, again, the truth lies in the middle. Um, so let's talk about your boy. Let's talk about your boy who was tubing off.
So, dude, how the fuck do you fuck this up? So, New York Post writer, middle of Zoom call, decides that he's gonna rub one out.
Is he a post
And,
writer? I didn't know that.
yeah. So yeah, he's a New York Post writer. They were actually they were doing like this mock like election debate thing or whatever. They had a bunch of writers in on the Zoom call, and I guess he decided at that point like he was going to take another video call, another Zoom call, and like rub one out in the midst of like this video call.
He didn't work for the Post. He worked for the New Yorker.
Yeah, the New Yorker. That's what it was. He's also like a CNN
Yeah, he's a CNN legal line analyst.
analyst or whatever. Yeah, so he decides to pull out his pug in the middle of this fucking Zoom call and start rubbing it out. And I guess at some point he realizes that, oh shit, my camera's on. They can see me. Turns his camera off, ends the call, and then comes back like nothing happened.
See, this one's hard for me because if they were on a break and he forgot to turn his camera off, then maybe he needed to spank one off. Like he was maybe one of the chicks in the Zoom call got him all aroused, and he's just like, "Fuck yeah, this we're gonna have a break right now. I'm gonna fucking just pound this pud like nobody's business for that fucking Monica. Monica's just fucking just asking for it, and he starts going to town, and he realizes, oh shit, I didn't turn my fucking camera off. But I think the story goes that he was like angling his shit down to his fucking meat so that everybody could see it. And if he was doing that, then we're talking about a whole nother different thing.
Yeah, I mean, from the articles I read, I don't think that was the case at all. I think he stood up and his dick was in full view of the camera. They said he had like his cell phone and he was also like zooming on his cell phone. They're pretty sure like he was having like phone sex with some other female, which by the way, he's married or whatever. And that wasn't his wife he was talking to on the phone. Um, yeah, so he's fucking beating his pug and then looks over and goes, oh shit, still on Zoom. Because I guess there was reaction from people in the Zoom call.
Yeah. But so I don't want to give this guy a pass because let's face it, we don't know the reality. He could have known exactly what he was doing. I doubt it. Like, if I doubt it, okay? But when the need arises, sometimes you got to pull the prick.
Look, it's one thing, man. Like, I don't know, man. Dude, I don't think he did it on purpose. On the same token, like, dude, if you don't have enough self control to make it through one like Zoom conference call,
Yeah, but
without having
dude,
to like,
all right, I understand what you're saying, but let's say he's been on like, I don't know, 50 of these Zoom calls, and there's just this one chick who fits his prototype. That's his girl. He loves, I don't know, a chick with blonde hair and shoulder length or whatever, red hair. Some people have red hair fetish. Let's say it's a red hair chick. and she's got the red eyebrows and everything, and he's thinking if the carpet matches the drapes and all of that stuff. And he's got to deal with this chick just doing these scenarios, and because they're that's what they're doing, right? They're talking about what ifs, right?
Yeah, I'm
Like
talking about
they're
political.
going, yeah. So he's been he's been watching this woman multiple Zoom calls, and she's always up there in the right corner. And he's just staring at her every fucking time. She's got the curly red hair. And he's just like, oh, look at those lips. And he's just like, man, what I would do with you. And he's just like, every single fucking Zoom call, he can't do anything because he can't talk to her, directly. So he's just looking at her up there in the right corner. And he's just like grabbing his fucking thing every single time, and he's just like, this fucking bitch, she knows she wants it, like I see her looking at me, you know. so so he's getting all like chubbed up, and then one day he just can't take it anymore, and they're like, okay, we're gonna take a break, we'll be back in 10 minutes, so log back on in 10 minutes. And he's like, fuck yeah. And he's been watching her that whole, prior to that 10-minute break. And he's just like ready to go. He's ready to go to town. So he starts going to fucking town, but he forgets to turn the camera off because he's that into it.
Yeah, but that's not the case here. That's not what happened. Like he decided he had a rub a tug, and he like fucking video chatted some other bitch and got caught. Like he decided that he was gonna multitask in that moment.
All right. I'll grant you that. Maybe the intention was for the redhead in the right corner to see. Like maybe he did do it on purpose. Maybe he's like, oh, if she sees this hog, baby, she's gonna fucking love it. And because I got a fucking tree trunk down here. She's gonna, there's no way she's gonna turn away from this. Maybe he's tried to ask her out before. Who knows? Who knows? Maybe there's 1,000 scenarios here. So what you're saying is he left the Zoom meeting on his computer, and he reached out to somebody on his phone and started pounding the pud on the phone with the person that he was texting with on the phone.
Yeah. So he like basically was trying to multitask and be a part of this meeting, but also like rub his junk out at the same time.
Okay, so let me play devil's advocate here. Maybe the person on his phone has been asking for it. Maybe she's been like, "Oh, daddy, I need you to fucking come inside my fucking hot hole. I'm ready for you, blah, 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 whatever." And he's like, God damn, bitch, I'm trying to do a fucking Zoom meeting over here. Chill the fuck out. And she's like, no, I'm not chilling the fuck out. I need that big fat cock right now in my fucking nose, and I need it pronto. And he's just like, fuck, bitch. Like, just chill. Just like, fucking, you got me hard, like, over here. I need to fucking do this. I'm working. And she's like, I don't give a fuck about your job. I don't give a fuck about any of that bullshit. She's like dominatrix mode. She's like, give me that fat cock right the fuck now. Show me that. Spit in my fucking phone face, you motherfucker. And he's just like, fuck. And so they say, okay, we're going to take a break. And he's like, yeah, let's go, baby. Let's fucking go. I mean, can you blame him? He fucked up. He got so involved in it, he forgot to fucking mute the camera. Fuck, it's an honest mistake. Everybody beats off. Sorry. Sorry, not sorry. Hey, ladies, I'm so sorry you guys had to see that. had no intentions of any of you seeing that. I just forgot to turn my camera off. I'm so fucking sorry. Please forgive me. But you gotta see what this chick was telling me. She might make some of you. She might make some of you want to get down on this.
Hashtag me too.
I'm just saying, like, Toobin off, bro.
Hashtag me too. Oh shit.
All right, so I've always had this question for people, and I ask these people this all the time. The snooze button. Are you pro or con? Are you a snooze button guy?
No.
Why? Explain.
Because I feel like the snooze button sets you up for failure.
How so?
Because snooze button goes like alarm goes off, you hit the snooze button. 10 minutes later, the alarm goes off, you hit the snooze button. 10 minutes later, the alarm goes off, you hit the snooze button. Well, you might have like set your alarm 30 minutes earlier than you needed to actually get up or whatever because you knew that you were gonna fucking hit the snooze button a couple times. But it's not like you're counting these snooze clicks in your sleep. So you might hit the snooze button like 10 times before you're like, fuck, I gotta get up. And then you realize you're an hour late. Like, oh shit.
Hold on, time out. I just want to say for podcast reference, my wife is now in the kitchen trying to be as quiet as possible as not to fuck with the podcast, and it's hilarious because I'm watching it in front of me, and she's like trying to be a little mouse. And it's fucking cracking me up. Anyways, so I am anti snooze button. So I agree with you. Only my reasoning is um you're disturbing your deep sleep, and then like when your initial alarm goes on, even if you give yourself, some people give themselves like an hour. They set their alarm an hour before they need to get up. So let's say you need to get up at legitimately 7 to be at work on time. They set their fucking alarms for 6. And then they hit the snooze button,
10 times.
Yeah. So to the point where I say, when you hit that, because I used to be a snooze button guy until I smartened up. When you hit that snooze button, you can't go back into the sleep you were in. You're anticipating the next alarm, right? You hit the snooze button and you're waiting, and you for like at least, depending on how fast you can fall asleep, at least for the next 3 to 5 minutes, you're like, oh fuck, it's gonna ring in another 5, like another a few minutes or whatever. But you're not in that deep sleep that you were in prior to that first alarm going off.
So there's no value.
There's zero value. Zero. Why waste all of those minutes? Because even if you do fall asleep, you're in that light sleep where you're barely sleeping. And it makes no sense when you can be in that deep sleep for a whole nother hour before you actually, boom, alarm clock goes, get the fuck up, you stupid asshole. Like, what the fuck? You're making it worse for yourself with the snooze button. So fuck the snooze button.
I think I would rather have one of those like slow approach wake up alarms have you seen these things where like it starts off and it's almost like the Lion King? It's like Zimbabwe benissimo. It's just a build up. Like
They have alarm tones that do that. I would if we're going on Random Richard's inventions, if we could put like some type of Bluetooth pulses, maybe on your bag, just kind of give you a little massage, kind of wake you up a little. Maybe right on the douche, right on the taint. Huh? That's a good way to wake up, right? I'm saying. Maybe something to consider for our next big invention, the little ball alarm or the anyways, so I guess we're both anti snooze button. I think that's fair to say, right?
Yeah, like I would rather just fucking get up, hit the shower, and go. Like,
It takes a little bit to get used to because, like I told you, I used to be a snooze button guy way back, a long time ago, like when I was young and stupid. And as I got older, I said, why am I doing this to myself? Because you know how it is when you know you have to get up or you know you have to do something, you're in that lightest of sleeps. So what's the point? Once you're in that deep sleep, let that bitch go to the end. Let that bitch go so you get a powerful sleep. And then when that shit hits, you know, it's go time, baby. Let's fucking go. It's fucking tubing time. It's time to tube off. Let's fucking go.
see, I think the worst is for me is like if I know that I have to get up early the next day, I get anxiety
A lot of people
about
do.
having to wake up so that I can't fall asleep.
Yes.
So that when I do fall asleep, I end up fucking oversleeping because I couldn't fall asleep. So then
Again, if you set your alarm too early, you're depriving yourself of prized sleep time. So let's say you have anxiety, you can't fall asleep. You're on 3 hours of sleep. You set your stupid alarm for an hour earlier. So you're hitting the snooze button for an hour when you could have just slept through that whole hour and you would have been a little more sharp because you got 4 hours of sleep instead of 3 and change.
which
Because
by the way, like it takes 30 to 45 minutes to hit like REM sleep.
you're making my point. Anyways, so one of the things that I was I observed recently because wifey switched to or a show ended and I think it was like football ended or whatever, and some sitcom came on, and I don't understand the value of laugh tracks. One of your favorite shows used them ridiculously, and it drives me fucking insane on any show. But one of your shows uses them ad nauseum. Like it's disgusting how much they use the laugh track. They put the laugh track on jokes that aren't even fucking jokes. They're just stupid nerd references.
But I
Like,
think but I think that's why they use the laugh track is for the people that are like mentally deficient who can't figure out that this might be a pun or this might be like
bullshit. Bullshit.
so,
If it's not funny, it's not funny. Fuck that.
might be too highbrow for some people.
Oh yeah, because fucking the nerds on Big Bang Theory are smarter than me. Fuck those guys. I'll tell you one thing: Kirby Enthusiasm, no laugh track. They tell jokes, they're funny. You laugh. you laugh. You don't need somebody to tell you to laugh. Okay? If you need somebody to tell you to laugh, then you're a fucking asshole that has no real sense of humor. If you need somebody to tell you when to laugh, you're a fucking
You're a
jerk
sheeple.
off.
You're a sheeple.
I mean, I know what's funny. What's funny to me? Your laugh track is not going to change my opinion of what's funny. And the perfect example of that is the show with the chick with the big tits. Have you ever seen it with the waitress? The waitress with the
Two
big
girls, two broke
yes,
girls, or whatever.
yeah. Oh my god, what a garbage fucking show! And yet they're in syndication. And the laugh track is every 5 seconds, dude. It's fucking
The only reason I
horrible.
watch that show is the only reason I watch that show for is for her Hooters.
I mean, what else would you watch that show for? The fucking jokes are terrible. The laugh track is every 2 seconds. It's fucking bananas. I can't believe people watch this shit, dude. And say what you want about Curb. There's no laugh track. They tell jokes and you laugh. You laugh naturally. It's fucking. I fucking hate laugh tracks. Laugh tracks are the worst. Fuck laugh tracks. If you need to be told when to laugh, just go catch COVID.
You do
Just
know,
go
like,
catch COVID.
you,
Go.
you do know, like, Three's Company and the Seinfeld show.
There's plenty of shows that did it. I'm not giving them a pass. I don't think The Office did it. I'm pretty sure The Office didn't do it. The best shows don't do it. Now that I think about it, I'm not even sure if Seinfeld did it. I don't think they did.
Seinfeld did do it.
I don't think they did. But I have to double
Pretty sure
check.
they did.
You don't watch Seinfeld. Shut the fuck up.
I do watch Seinfeld. What are you talking about?
You don't appreciate that type of humor. Because Curb is Seinfeld on steroids, and you don't like Curb. So fuck off. Speaking of shows, without laugh tracks, I don't even know how to bring this up on this podcast. This is shameful. This is if people don't spit in your face, but please don't spit in my brother's face after you hear this. This cocksucker has never seen Breaking Bad. Breaking fucking Bad. One of the best shows to ever grace television. He's never seen it. Defend yourself. Please.
I haven't seen Breaking Bad. I haven't seen Game of Thrones. I haven't seen Sons of Anarchy. Like, I'm not a TV guy. Like, I go through like stints of, like, you know, Netflix or Hulu or whatever.
What?
Otherwise,
Wait.
like,
Time out. What have you watched?
Recently I just watched The Mayans.
The Mines is part of fucking the Sons of Anarchy.
I know, but I haven't got to the actual, like, Sons of Anarchy.
That's where the fucking good stuff was.
I watched, I'm up to date on, like, The Walking Dead,
Ugh.
except for the last season.
Ugh. I want to puke. You watched The Walking Dead, but you haven't watched Breaking Bad. I haven't watched a single episode of The Walking Dead. You've watched The Walking Dead, but you haven't. Wait, so you believe you watch the zombie show, but you won't watch Game of Thrones, which has basically the White Walkers who are The Walking Dead.
I haven't got to that series yet.
But it's years ago.
I just caught up on my fucking Walking Dead, and I'm still not even all the way caught up because I still got like one whole season.
Fuck The Walking Dead.
catch
I don't give a fuck about The Walking Dead. I haven't seen a single episode of The Walking Dead. I have
I
no.
I re Within the past 3 months, I rewatched all The Sopranos.
Why?
Um,
If you haven't seen Breaking Bad, why have you rewatched The Sopranos?
because it was the fucking Sopranos. Like it was a
Breaking
good
Bad
series
is
then.
better. It's better.
I wouldn't know that. I've never watched like an episode.
See, I wanted to talk about this because I've been rewatching it and I've discovered some things that I didn't discover the first time that I watched it. Because when you're watching a series for the first time, sometimes you're a little tired, so you miss things. It's just like Sopranos. Watching it the second time, you appreciate things a little bit more. So I am appreciating things a lot more watching Breaking Bad the second time. And I'm begging you to watch this series. I need you to make a commitment on this. I need you to make a commitment on the podcast to our listeners that you will watch Breaking Bad. I don't give a fuck about Game of Thrones. Game of Thrones.
I will eventually get there.
No, hold on.
sit
Time
down
out.
and watch the
Time
series.
out. Game of Thrones. I understand why some people don't watch it because it deals with dragons and some mythical type of shit. So I get why some people don't get that.
The
Breaking
funny
Bad.
thing is, like, I like dragons and mythical shit. Like, I just have not had the time to sit down and watch the series. And any series that is 10 fucking seasons long or 8 seasons long or whatever, it's hard for me to get motivated to watch them.
I understand. I understand. Game of Thrones, every episode's like, at least around close to an hour. And I get it. Once you get into it, you'll keep watching it because it's dope, especially when you get to the end of the first season. But Breaking Bad starts off slowly and it just builds into this juggernaut. And it doesn't take long. It doesn't take long because it's so relatable. It's extremely relatable to anyone from any demographic, except for maybe the super rich. So anybody not rich, it's that relatable. And the constant struggles that the main character finds himself in, or the main characters, and the constant battle between their personalities and their relationship with each other makes it ridiculously compelling. And it is legitimately the best TV series ever made. I have no doubt. I have no problem saying that. I need you to watch it so we can discuss it.
All right. I'll make a deal with you. I will watch the whole Breaking Bad series if you will watch the Walking Dead series.
No, I can't do that.
No.
I can't do that.
What do you mean you can't do that?
The Walking Dead's been out for like 1,000 years. I can't. There's too much time. I just can't do that.
Oh, it's a fair trade-off.
No, it's not.
Watch the first couple.
No, Breaking Bad is 5 seasons. What's the Walking Dead up to? Like 18? Like it's like The Simpsons at this point. The fuck out of here!
I think there's 9 seasons or 10 seasons now.
All right, it's double. I don't have the time for that.
I will watch 5 seasons of Breaking Bad if you watch 5 seasons of The Walking Dead.
I'll do this. I'll compromise. I'll watch The Tiger King, which in the past I told you I'll never watch.
But the Tiger King is compelling, and it's only fucking like an hour and a half, 2 hours long. You're dedicating me to fucking 50 hours of fucking series.
You will thank me. You will thank me.
I feel the same way. I don't feel the same way about The Walking Dead. about character
I'm not
development.
a
And
zombie
like,
guy, so there's
it's
no
not
way.
about the zombies. The zombies are only a portion of the show, man. Like
It doesn't matter.
it's
It's not.
about the
It
character development and
doesn't appeal to me.
how civilization changes.
It's not going to work for me. I can't. Give me another. I'll agree to it if you give me another option. I'm not doing The Walking Dead. It's fucking 10 seasons. You just said it. It's double. That's
Well,
not fair.
I said I will do the first. I will do all 5 seasons of Breaking Bad if you do the first 5 seasons of The Walking Dead.
No, fuck that. No, I will not do that. Find something because then if I actually do get into it, I got to watch another 5 seasons. So fuck that. That's too much time.
But it's still active. It's still an active show.
Fuck that. No, no. Find something more comparable. I don't care what it is. Pick it. If you want me to watch fucking The Bachelor, which I would fucking rather choke on my own vomit, but
Make you watch The Handmaid's Tale.
no, see, but I'm giving you something good. Like I'm giving you something. I'm giving you something historic.
Well, I will tell you that I feel like Walking Dead is a great series. I think the character development on the show is really dope. I think it's not just about the
But
zombies.
it's double what I'm offering you.
Well, that's
That's
what I'm
not
saying.
fair.
Watch
That's
the
not a
first
fair
5 seasons.
exchange. No.
Watch the first 5 seasons. I
I
will
don't
watch
think
the complete series. I will watch the complete series from
no.
beginning to
That's
end.
not a fair comparison.
Why not? I'm saying
Because you're
episode for
off
episode.
because you're offering me a incomplete challenge. I need it to be comparable. So get me something that's you don't have to do it now. Get me something that's 5 seasons, and I'm in it. I think Game of Thrones was like 5 seasons. Oh, actually, no, they snaked it. They snaked it like a motherfucker to like 7 seasons, I think, which was complete bullshit. But whatever. Um, Find me something comparable, and I'll agree to it.
Sell it.
I ain't saying you got to do it now. I'm just saying eventually. And as one of the caveats is you have to tell me that I was right, that you're an idiot for ignoring this series for so long.
But you wouldn't even agree to watch 5 seasons of the series I'm asking you to watch.
Because that's like, it's like me asking you to watch something about ghosts or something about like Breaking Bad is not about these scenarios that don't exist.
It's about a heroin dealer teacher.
It's like asking you to watch Stranger Things. Like I'm not asking you to watch Stranger Things. I'm asking you to watch a series about a teacher who gets cancer and what he does to deal with that. And the path he goes through becoming basically a drug dealer. That is way interesting, more interesting than some fucking zombies.
You mean a series about a pandemic that creates the fall of society and shows how people change and how they start fucking losing their minds and become less than civilized?
Yes. Yes.
Because
way better.
That doesn't
way
relate
better.
to anything that's going on right now.
Way
Right,
better. Way better. 1,000 times better. Because I'll tell you what, I have never seen The Walking Dead been mentioned in one of the greatest television series of all times, but I certainly have seen Breaking Bad mentioned in that category.
Mad?
No.
Are you mad? The Walking Dead is fucking amazing. They've won all kinds of awards. It's a great fucking series. It's
Dude,
one of the top rated series of all fucking times.
no, it's not. No, it's not.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, it's not. Breaking Bad is considered one of the best television series of all time compared to fucking zombies. And Breaking Bad is much more relatable than fucking zombies. Oh, he's pulling up his little facts. That's why he's all quiet. He's pulling up his little facts. He's gonna say, "Oh, this was number X on X list," which nobody gives a fuck about that X list. Listen,
Nah, I wanted to see where Breaking Bad ranks
yeah, you see,
on the
it's one of the greatest shows
greatest
ever.
series of all times.
Yes, yes, it is. It fucking is. And for you to not have seen that, just like it was like a punch in the gut, knowing that you haven't seen it. Because I wanted to discuss my rewatch, and you haven't even seen the first watch.
Which, by the way, Game of Thrones, Breaking Bad, Sopranos, The Wire, Walking Dead, Curb Your Enthusiasm, Lost, Twin Peaks,
Lost.
Deadwood,
Fuck Lost. Fuck
The
Twin Peaks.
Office, uh, West
Fuck
Wing,
Deadwood. Fuck The Office.
30 Rock, all like The Shield, which is pretty good. Man, that's something I should rewatch. The Shield.
Fuck The Shield.
What?
Just
Did you ever
watch.
watch The Shield?
Just watch Breaking Bad.
Did you ever watch The Shield?
You ever watch Malcolm in the Middle?
Did you ever watch The Shield?
I think I've seen it once or twice. You ever watch Malcolm in the Middle?
All right, so Breaking Bad is 5 seasons. The Shield is 7 seasons.
I don't give a fuck. Have you ever watched Malcolm in the Middle? Answer my question.
Yes,
The father of Malcolm in the Middle
I know.
is the main character of Breaking Bad.
Heisenberg or whatever. Yes, I know.
Well, he was just Walt. Okay. To those of us who knew him personally, he's Walt. Okay. He's Walter White. He didn't become, he became Heisenberg only because he was forced to. He was Walter White. And his protege was Jesse. Jesse Pinkman. Bitch. And that's how Jesse Pinkman talked. Every time he said something, it was bitch. Dude, listen. I don't recommend a lot of shows because I don't watch a lot of shows. That's why I'm watching Breaking Bad again. I watched Sons of Anarchy because my wife told me it was pretty dope. And to her credit, it was pretty good. I can't, if anybody asks me anything, if anybody asks me recommend a show to watch, there is no show that is on number one on my list before Breaking Bad. Breaking Bad is an amazing piece of television. And if you watch it, you'll see why. I told you I would never watch Tiger King. I feel like that's a good compromise.
No, because it's only an hour and a half fucking long.
No, it's
It's
not.
not comparable.
No,
It's
it
like a
isn't.
2 hour
Isn't
fucking.
isn't it multiple episodes?
Tiger King is 1 season, bro.
All right. So all right, let's do this. Watch 1 season of Breaking Bad. I'll watch the full season of Tiger King. If you bow out after a season, okay. You explain why. And I'll watch the full Tiger King season and tell you my thoughts on it because we never talked about it on the pod. Is that a fair? Is that a
I'll
fair
watch one
compromise?
season of Breaking Bad, but I already know I'm gonna like Breaking Bad. Like,
No, but the only reason I'm using Tiger King is because I told you I'll never watch that shit because I the hype because it's overrated and blah blah blah. So I'm willing to watch it and I'm willing to say, okay, it was worth watching. If it's worth watching. And I was wrong. And if you like Breaking Bad, then you can say, yeah, I missed that one. I'm going to continue to watch it and let's talk about it after I finish the season because I would like to talk about that again because I'm watching it the second time and there's a lot of stuff that I missed after watching it the first time. We got a deal?
all right, I will watch the first season of Breaking Bad
First season.
in exchange for Tiger King.
Cool. By next podcast or ish?
Yeah, by next podcast.
Oh, okay. All right. You got it, man.
I will bang it out in a week.
All right. With that being said, and if you want to go past that first season, feel free because you will want to go past that first season. All right, guys. We'll catch you next week. What the fuck did I just do?